Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released watchOS 11.4 to the public. watchOS 11.4 is available around the world at the same time for everyone on all watchOS 11 supported devices. This came in at 160 megabytes on my Apple Watch Ultra 2, and if you're not seeing the update, you can find it in the Apple Watch app on your iPhone by going to General and then Software Update. You can also find it on your Apple Watch, but even if you had watchOS 11.4 RC or any of the betas, you'll have a new update as well. You can turn off the beta updates now, leave them on, but there should be a new update as well. Now, this update was not released alongside all the other updates yesterday. It seemingly had an issue with a new build. We'll check in a moment, but we did have iOS 18.4, iPadOS 18.4, and many others. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and talk about what's new. So we'll go into our watch, go into settings, and then we'll go down to general and then about. As I mentioned, even if you were on the RC, we have a new build with build number 22T251. And this update does contain quite a few new features. The first one has to do with the Sleep app. If we go into the Sleep app, within the Sleep app, if we scroll down to maybe where we have an alarm set, maybe for bedtime, scroll down again, you'll see Sound and Haptics. Under Sound and Haptics, there's a new option for breakthrough silent mode. It says only haptics will play if you wear Apple Watch to bed. If we turn this on, it now says Sound and Haptics will play if you wear Apple Watch to bed. So you can break through silent mode. This can also be found in the Clock app. So if we go into the alarms for our clock, the same thing, we have our wake up alarm, of course, but if we select another alarm, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the same exact option with breakthrough silent mode. So you can set this for all alarms or just some of them if you'd like. We also have some new watch faces this time around. So if we press and hold, we'll scroll over, you'll see there's some new colors, and these coincide with the release of new spring cases from Apple. You can see most of them here. If we go into the Watch app, we'll go back to our face gallery, and if we go down to colors, this is where you'll see that. So under colors, you'll see that we have some new ones. They're for spring, as I mentioned before, so if we add them here, you'll see all of the spring 2025 lineup, and I've already added them, but you'll see we have peony, we have tangerine, aquamarine, periwinkle, northern lights, as well as sage. So these are the new ones. If you want to use those, maybe you picked up one of the new cases recently, they're available on your watch if you want to use them. The next feature goes along with iOS 18.4, and that has to do with messages. Within messages, if we scroll down, you'll see that I have some new emoji. These emoji go along with the latest Unicode standard. Apple just complies with that standard and adds the latest emoji. So you'll see a fingerprint, a harp, we have a shovel, a splat, and a new face, as well as the Syrian flag has been updated. So that's not necessarily an emoji to go along with that, but it has been updated to the latest flag. We also have RCS messaging in other places, such as Google Fi is now supported. So most carriers are now supporting RCS, and again, that goes across iOS as well, but you'll see RCS is enabled, and I was messaging something with a Pixel with Google Fi, so it is working here as well. Within the Home app, they've updated robot vacuums. So if you have a robot vacuum that supports Matter, they've now added this to the update. So you're able to use that if you want to use it. All Matter-compatible robot vacuum cleaners can be added, and then you can use things such as Siri to tell it to clean your living room, for example. Now, as far as other features, well, that's pretty much it as far as the features themselves. However, there are some bug fixes to go along with this. Apple resolved an issue where face selection may become unresponsive when switching between faces. So maybe you have the swipe option on, or you press and hold and swipe over. Sometimes it was unresponsive, different things would become unresponsive, and that has been fixed. iPhone mirroring seems to be working better this time around. So if we go into our settings, let's turn on dark mode here. We'll go into accessibility, and then we can use iPhone mirroring with Apple Watch mirroring. So if we turn this on, give it a second to connect, it should connect nice and fast. Now you can see it's connected. We can tap on the digital crown, go into our apps. It's a little bit choppy depending on your connection, but you can see the weather here and everything works as expected. So it took a second to load. We can scroll down, see what we have to offer here for the next forecast, and you can see everything working through here properly. The other thing they seem to have fixed is when you're opening up the camera. So maybe you're using the camera app from the Apple Watch. It looks like it works a little bit better. So let's find the camera app. There we go. It opens up the camera and it's nice and fast. So if we want to go into our options, we can use the front camera, turn it around, switch to rear. It works very fast. So much, much better than what we've seen before. Apple also updated the public-facing release notes. We can see those here. If we go into the release notes, they don't really mention anything different than what we had with the RC, except for some new features for developers with StoreKit, resolved issues with StoreKit, a few additional known issues, resolved issues with SwiftUI, and new system call features, and that's about it. So not a whole lot of bug fixes or anything mentioned in their overall notes. We also have some security updates as well. If we go to Apple's security release website, scroll down, you'll see watchOS 11.4. Under watchOS 11.4, we have quite a few new security updates, about 50, maybe more, and you'll see them here where we have everything from core audio to core services, quite a few things with the kernel or the underlying code that controls the operating system. And you'll see here, and the impact was a malicious app may be able to attempt passcode entries on a locked device and thereby cause escalating time delays after 4 failures. To fix this, a logic issue was addressed with improved state management. We have the CVE number and then the person or the company that helped them find this. Now, if we scroll down, you'll see additional updates for Maps, Power Services, Safari, and much more. So quite a few security updates in this one, making this very important to install. And when it comes to performance, it seems to be nice and fast, whether you're going into an alarm or a stopwatch, or maybe you're opening Fitness Plus, for example. It's nice and fast, no real issues there. So weather again, go back out, maybe we'll go into noise. This always takes a second to load. There we go, nice and fast. No real issues as far as performance. As far as battery life, well, battery life has been great. It's an Apple Watch Ultra 2 and seems to easily get me through a day and a half or two. Depending on what you're doing with it, makes the overall battery life vary, of course. So if you're working out a ton or using music and everything else, it's going to use a lot. Earlier today, this was at 80%, so you'll see it has optimized battery charging turned on. Last charge to optimized limit 42 minutes ago. And in 42 minutes, while sharing this with you, it's down 4%. So not terrible there. However, if we go into battery health, you'll see it will go down to 100% is what its maximum capacity is. I haven't really seen it drop on the Apple Watch Ultra 1 after a year below 100%. The watch seems to be doing great that way, and it seems to be even better than what my iPhone is. As far as if you should install watchOS 11.4, I would say absolutely for the security updates. You get a few more small features, that nice alarm feature I know a lot of people have wanted, and really it doesn't seem to have any issues. Using it with the RC, I had no issues, so let me know your experience in the comments below if you've used any of the betas, but generally I would recommend installing this as this is not an issue whatsoever, at least for me anyway. As far as watchOS 11.5, well, we should see the first betas pretty soon, depending on the release date, of course, of what Apple chooses, whether it's this week or next week, but we should see those very soon. So hopefully we see that within a day or two, or maybe next week. Then we'll see watchOS 12 at WWDC in June on the 9th, and typically we'll get the first beta that day as well, with a public release typically in September around the new Apple Watch 11 launch. So that's what we can expect as far as that. So not a whole lot going forward with Apple Watch. I wouldn't expect any major features even this year with WWDC, but maybe there'll be a few surprises with design and more. Let me know what you would want most from watchOS 12 in the comments below. And also, one thing I wanted to mention that I haven't already is the watch face. People ask me what this is. It's the modular watch face with an app called Lumi in the middle. So if we scroll over here, you'll see that we have the complication called Lumi. It's a paid app that I paid for, and I just like the look of it. So that gives you an idea of what it is. And then, of course, the others are just regular complications with weather. We also have the time and date, our activity level, as well as compass and messages. So nothing really different there. I've used this watch face for a long time. Of course, I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.